So here's a post that I made last week when a lot of cryptocurrencies crashed. The title is Altcoiners got cooked, Bitcoiners slept well. When Bitcoin fell over 10%, headlines screamed crypto crash. But let's be clear, Bitcoin didn't break, the crypto casino did. So what triggered the move? Trump announced 100% tariffs on Chinese imports and markets shifted into risk-off mode. Bitcoin dropped, which is a normal correction. But what turned it into chaos wasn't Bitcoin at all, it was crypto leverage. Over-leveraged crypto traders got wiped out, triggering over $19 billion in liquidations across the crypto market. Bitcoin alone estimated around 3 to 5 billion liquidated, still large, but far more controlled. Meanwhile, spot Bitcoiners slept well at night, nothing lost, just another buy the dip moment. So what actually made crypto crash harder? When prices dipped, altcoin traders loaded with 2x, 10x, even 50x leveraged started hitting liquidation levels. A small price drop was all it took for exchanges to auto-sell their positions to cover losses. That forced selling pushed prices even lower, triggering even more liquidations, a full chain reaction. If we take a look at altcoin charts, so this is Bitcoin, this is the day it crashed on Friday, October 10. From the peak to the very bottom, you can see here 10%. But with altcoins like XRP, look at this massive crash on Friday 10th. I'll mark it out here. It looks like XRP dropped over 50%. What about Ethereum? Big crash here on the 10th. Ethereum crashed 21% that day. Solana, 23%. Remember, Bitcoin only crashed 10%, as you can see here. This wasn't Bitcoin collapsing, it was the crypto casino blowing up on margin, dragging the charts down visually. Bitcoin's 10% pullback was just a normal move. Crypto gamblers turned it into chaos. And here I compared the 2017 crash versus pretty much last week. Two very different crashes. In 2017, leverage entered Bitcoin for the first time through CME futures, allowing institutions to short and speculate directly on Bitcoin. This created Bitcoin's first true speculative leverage cycle, leading to an 80% crash. Every crashes before that, like the Mt. Gox collapse, were natural bubble cycles without leverage. 2025, last week, leverage migrated away from Bitcoin and exploded into the wider crypto market, meme coins, altcoins, perpetual futures. Over $19 billion was liquidated in a single day, the largest wipeout in crypto history. Bitcoin only dipped around 10%, dragged down not by its own weakness, but by the collapse of highly leveraged altcoins. So in 2017, leverage targeted Bitcoin. 2025, leverage infected every crypto but Bitcoin. So is this the new crypto winter? What we're seeing now isn't Bitcoin's failure, it's a crypto reckoning. Some coins may have features or use cases, but features don't make sound money. Their tokens still rely on speculation and liquidity to survive. Bitcoin will recover, it always does. Why? Because it's the only asset in crypto with decentralized security. No founders, no pre-mine, and changes require network consensus, making hostile upgrades nearly impossible. It's also globally adopted as money, nation-states, institutions, sovereign wealth funds, and then it's fixed supply and monetary certainty. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, there is no inflation, and there is no team behind Bitcoin, unlike altcoins like XRP and Ethereum and Solana. Altcoins may have utility, but utility doesn't protect price. Liquidity does. Once liquidity dries up, most tokens never return to their highs. As Michael Saylor said it, liquidity is vitality. The cycle of understanding. Crypto traders enter for fast gains. They get liquidated. They learn the hard way. Eventually they discover Bitcoin is the only asset worth holding long term. And here's a picture of Donald Trump representing the tariffs in China. $19 billion liquidated. Now let's read some comments. Algiri said this isn't what happened. A Binance pricing vulnerability was exploited by bad actors. People that were using any leverage at all were liquidated because of a cascading crash that was deliberately triggered. He linked this post on X by Elon Trades. The 2011 crypto crash, what really happened. Feel free to read this, but I'll summarize it for you. Basically, this drop wasn't just because of Trump tariffs or some random crypto dump. What actually happened was a targeted attack on Binance's system. A few big players figured out a flaw in how Binance priced collateral. They dumped around 60 million, 90 million worth of tokens like USDe and these other two, but only on Binance. So it made it look like those assets suddenly had no value. So anyone using that as collateral got instantly liquidated, and that alone wiped out hundreds and millions on Binance. Then obviously, it spread across the whole market, and the crazy part was, the attackers had already loaded up over $1.1 billion in shorts on another exchange, Hyperliquid. They made about $192 million from this whole move, so this wasn't just bad structure or normal correction, it was a calculated hit, not a stablecoin collapse, not Bitcoin failing, it was a Binance collateral exploit that got amplified by the Trump tariffs news. A $90 million move caused nearly $20 billion in damage, and that's how fragile these leverage markets still are. At least, this is what the post was advocating for. And I said, the Binance exploit definitely complements my post. It shows how the cascade started, but the mechanics are the same. Over-leveraged crypto traders got liquidated, altcoins got crushed, and Bitcoin mostly held up. And then Garn Telk said, the downtrend was going to happen anyway, it was just sped up by the Trump news, but regardless, it had a failed auction at $126,000 at the top of the Feb level. ETH structurally was terrible. You believe what you hear and say what you think. Kiss emoji. This isn't just about Binance. When Trump announced tariff news back in April, markets dropped hard. Same thing happened on October 10th. The whole crypto market got hit. The Binance exploit just added fuel to an already failing market. No, but Bitcoin was set to drop anyway from a technical perspective. Without any news, we would have hit these lows. And then L. Geary replied to me, a close friend of mine had a 1.5x leverage position on SPX. By any normal measures, that's not over leveraged. SPX went from $1.50 to 30 cents in 10 minutes, and he was liquidated at 45 cents. Binance was used by the bad guys to make $1.92 million on their shorts, and in doing so, destroyed the market. Bitcoin is up, but whereas it would have been going up from $122,000, now it's going up from $114,000, and the same whole ass that was shorting it on Sunday last month is back erecting a sell wall at $123,000. It has definitely damaged Bitcoin. And that's the comments I received from this post. As of right now, Bitcoin is crashing, strategy is crashing, my portfolio is now down to £50,000, and looking at the crypto market, everything is falling. When the fundamentals are strong, your conviction can get you through this bear market. Strategy in 2022 was in a worse position than they are today because they didn't have the credit market like they do now with their preferred stocks like Stretch, Stride, Strife and Strike. Around this time in 2022, they were solely relying on convertible notes when they bought up Bitcoin using debt. Nowadays, they are not using debt to buy Bitcoin. They're simply issuing ATM offerings to acquire as much Bitcoin as they can. If you learned something of value, I'd appreciate you leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.